Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Ford County Commission meeting for March 1st, 2021. This will be meeting number 2021-09. And we'll call the meeting to order and start with prayer and a pledge of allegiance. We have Marcia Crouch from Marketplace Ministries International here to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day which we can hopefully make the world a better place. Lord, thank you for each destiny that you planted in each of us when we were knit together in our mother's womb. Lord, I pray that each of us will let you examine our hearts this first day of March and the months to come, the weeks to come. And Lord, if there's anything there that is offensive to you, I ask, Lord, that we will humbly come to you in repentance and ask for your forgiveness and that you would set us on a new path. Lord, your word tells us that all you want from us is our heart, and that you want not just one rein, but both reins of our heart, as if that makes sense to those who have ridden the horse. And Lord, when you have both reins of our heart, you can do great things with our families, but our community. We thank you for the brave men and women behind this desk who have done a great job leading us through COVID last year. And Lord, you want more for Dodge City and Ford County than just two packing plants. I'm convinced that if we have leaders who surrender both reins of their heart to you, that you will bring in blessings that before have been withheld. So God, we want to give all honor to you. And as the angel said on the day that Jesus Christ was born, glory, glory, glory to the highest, and on earth peace and goodwill toward men. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Marcia. All right, first up we have our consent agenda, which has on it the minutes of meetings 2021-07 and 2021-08, and also the credit card statement for February. I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda as it has been presented.
I second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have claims for payment. The amount of $193,934.50. Relatively speaking, a small one for this time. Anything of note?
Just Revere Healthcare Solutions, fuel and converge line that was already approved.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
I second it.
With the motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that brings us to open public comment. We'll open this up for anybody that wishes to address the commission. We'll limit this to 5 minutes per individual, 15 minutes per topic, with final action to be delayed or deferred until the next county commission meeting unless we have an emergency situation. Have anybody? Sheriff?
How's everybody?
Good.
Good. I just want to share the appreciation that I have for some staff, county staff members. February 16th, the night of, and early morning hours of the 17th of February. We had a call out in the middle of nowhere, the east central part of the county. Started out as a medical call, turned into quite an event throughout the entire evening, and early morning hours of the 17th. But I want to share my appreciation of working with the fire EMS, the way they handled all the medical side of it, and more importantly, we had a dispatcher who, when I called to share my appreciation, it was I was just doing my job. But I can assure you, one of us, the layperson that doesn't have the knowledge and know-how to operate their system, it's not just doing their job. We had individuals on foot from our staff and other neighboring county in single-digit temperatures and below zero, and snowing and windy, and looking for a crime scene. And this dispatcher walked our guys to each other, me being one of them, using our technology, phones and GPS and mapping and stuff. So I want to share that with you all to let you know that though I know we spent quite a bit of money on our system, definitely valued. So, and then day two, we weren't able to retrieve a vehicle that night due to location and weather, and truthfully, we didn't know exactly where we were because we were in the Sandhills. But Ben with GIS was nice enough to come out the next day and set up a drone system and spent a couple hours with us and walked us back into where we needed to go, and we were able to get in with a wrecker and retrieve the property and stuff we needed. And so I just want to share the respect that I have with these other agencies and how nice it is to work with them. They're putting the technology that we've acquired to great use, and it's definitely valued to not only myself but to the citizens. So I'd share that with you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Trevor, appreciate you sharing it, because I had several conversations when we were thinking about that system and building that system, and how we didn't really need to have that kind of a system here, and remember the stories that we would get to hear from you guys that were out there at times when you were in emergency situations and trying to make calls on your phone because our radios weren't working.
I can assure you without a doubt that this area we were in, our phones and our radios would not have worked on the old system.
So I'm glad to hear these stories now that we've made that investment, and that it's bearing fruit.
Definitely an investment. Thank you.
Anybody else for open public comment? Seeing none, I see no unfinished business and no legal counsel. That brings us to county administrator report.
First item is the fuel bid results.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Chris.
We changed it up a little bit this year, and instead of doing a 9-month contract for fuel, we've asked for a 12-month contract. And we received 2 bids in by the 3:30 deadline. First was AV Energy for E10 unleaded at $2.21 a gallon. For dyed diesel, number 2, at $2.11. And number 2, clear diesel at $2.3664. Number 1 diesel would be price of number 2 diesel plus the difference in rack price of number 1 and number 2 at the time of order. The next bid was from Nusser Oil and it was $2.19 for unleaded, $2.01 for number 2 dyed diesel, and $2.27 for number 2 clear diesel, $2.36 for number 1 dyed, and $2.62 for number 1 clear. And my recommendation would be going with Nusser Oil.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve Nusser Fuel, right?
Nusser Oil.
Nusser Oil. As the,
Yeah, no, you're correct, Nusser Fuels is the correct.
okay. For winning the Ford County fuel bid for 2021.
I would second the motion. We have a motion and a second for Nusser Fuels fuel bid. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
The next item we have is the Ford County Engineering Report.
John?
Good afternoon. Beautiful afternoon to be here too. Sun's shining, not much wind, nice and warm. Left my coat in the car. A couple things, following up on Commissioner Boyce, you asked about passing lane projects in Ford County. So I did some research and talked with a couple of folks at KDOT. There are 2 projects in development currently specifically for passing lanes in Ford County. Both are on Highway 50 to the east of Dodge City. Currently, they're scheduled for fiscal year 2023 bids, which most likely means they would probably, if they go to bids, they would be late in the year for 2024 construction.
24.
24 construction. And the reason I say if they're awarded bids, right now KDOT kind of calls them a pool project, so they're not specifically obligated for funds yet, but if the funding is there in 2023, they may be pulled out of the pool and obligated for funding when that's a bid. So they are underway with design, they've been surveyed, and they are being designed by consultants, I think, for KDOT. And whether they go to construction in that specific year will just be dependent on the budget money available when we get to that time frame. So we'll certainly keep an eye on those as we get into next year. State fiscal year 2023 would start July 1, 2022, so they could go to bids as early as late next year. We'll keep an eye on it as we get into this year next and see if there's stay in the mix there. So basically, the 2 projects are, that time it's off the KDOT website. One is described as starting at the end of the concrete pavement, which would just be right here east of town, northeast of Dodge City, where KDOT reconfigured that intersection up there, just west of the ammonia plant there. So the new concrete pavement, where the 2 roads come together, kind of Wyatt Earp and Highway 50 from the north side of town, that concrete ends. So starting there, going east, and says to 1.4 miles east of 126 Road. Now I don't envision that's all gonna be passing lane from one point to the other. I'm guessing because there's been some pavement breakdown over the years, they're probably gonna do some pavement replacement in conjunction with a passing lane project. I would guess east or right would be the passing lanes are gonna be. 126 Road is over by Spearville. And the second project essentially is described as starting at the end of that project, in the first project, and going on east to 2.1 miles east of Spearville, it says. it kind of appears like one set of patch lanes is proposed for between Spearville and Wright, and then the other one is between Spearville and Oakley, just east of Spearville. And then along with that, the 4-lane expressway modification project or improvement project to the west of Dodge City, between Dodge City and Cimarron, is still progressing forward. And at this time, KDOT is proposing to bid those two projects to construction in December of this year, with construction slated to start in 2022. And that could be subject to change, but that's the intent currently. And going down the listing of items here. So currently, I'm going to skip down to the middle of my report here. Quaker Road, we've been asked to work on a drainage analysis for a low water crossing. This is between 115 and 116. County surveyor was able to complete the field topographic survey, got that information to us, and we'll utilize that to work on the drainage study and then develop a concept for a low water crossing and a cost estimate. It'll probably take us a few months to get that all put together. On the Iron Star Wind Farm, we continue to have a person on site daily during construction. I did have some communication with him today about the hauling of aggregate material from the pit up in Hodman County. And he said the reports that he's getting is they may be wrapped up for the large part hauling from that pit maybe the next 2 to 3 weeks like that. They're getting most of the road improvement work done that they need to get done with that aggregate. So he thought what he's getting from the wind farms in a few weeks, they may be mostly done. I'm sure there's still a lot of material needed here and there, but with the heavy hauling, we'll start to wrap up in a few weeks. Quick update on the Grain Belt Express power line. That's the direct current power line that was proposed to begin in Ford County, travel east to Indiana. We had some communication with the developer, we just haven't really heard much about that project in a while. They've indicated that they are pushing their anticipated start of construction by 12 months, from early 2022 to early 2023, with completion by somewhere around into 2024 or into 2025 possibly. I know indications we had heard is quite a bit of the future wind farm development was dependent on that power line project, so assuming that may impact some short-term wind farm developments as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But what the developer on the power line itself says is they're probably pushing things back a year at this point in time. A couple new business items. On the Jewel Road road reclamation, Ford County had been awarded, this is the first part from 118 to 123 road, had been awarded cost share money to help finance part of that project for construction. Today, KDOT opens up their spring cost share application cycle. And they have a fair amount of money, and they said they're gonna have up to $25 million this cycle. Which a portion of that is coming from some of the COVID relief funds that the state got. So I was gonna ask if the county commissioners would entertain on the next list of reclamation projects, we're looking at 102 road between Highway 50 and Garnett. And talking with Chris at Road Bridge, we were discussing applying for funds to move forward. We're trying to get funds from KDOT to help with that project. Let's say like a 60% state, 40% county match. The more the county, or the more the local puts into it, the better score you get on your applications. However, I think we kind of feel like once you get to the 40% local match, you don't get really much more bonus points. You know, to go 60% county and 40% state probably isn't gonna have any better odds than going 60% state, 40% county. So that's what we were thinking, just to propose that project to KDOT for assistance on funding for 2022 construction. So that doesn't necessarily need a motion necessarily, because it doesn't cost anything, there's no contracts to apply, but just thought we'd present that to you all and see if you concurred with that idea, we would move forward with applications. They're due first week of April.
I concur. let's keep working on the list. We got,
If we could get 60% state funds, that'd be
a lot of it to do, so.
700,000, yeah. Okay,
Okay, the bids go 50/50. I'm sure.
and that's fine. We can, what I'm saying is once you go above 40, I don't know that you get much for bonus points. And we could put in there to KDOT and just let them know that the county would be agreeable to a little bit lesser amount.
I'm not the whole county.
I
I'm just
understand.
saying
Okay. We'll get to work on it. Another item that came up recently is that with the COVID funds, the state is using some of that to, what they say, restore the $12.5 million of motor fuel tax revenue that was lost to the Special City County Highway Fund. And so they did a calculation of how much money each city and county that normally receives those funds was deficient this last year, and essentially they're almost treating it like a grant. It sounds like they're just gonna hand the money over. So Ford County is standing to receive $91,584.63. It didn't say exactly when they're gonna deliver that money, so we don't know if that'll be this month or in the summer or when, but that's what KDOT is announced. As well as the communities in Ford County as well stand to gain a little bit of money out of that. For instance, Dodge City would get $60,241.37. Buckland is gonna get $1,713.62. Ford would get $480, and Spearville would get $1,742.52. Look forward to getting a little bit of money in the door, then, really. Something else that we thought we'd share with you, Road and Bridge, Chris is working with KEC, their local road engineer. Keith Browning, he took the place, or took the position of Norm Bowers after Norm retired. Keith Browning is a retired county engineer. Chris is working with him on a pavement maintenance plan that Keith put out there, offering free assistance from KEC to help put together a plan, looking at the pavement types and conditions of all the paved roads in the county, and then looking at what the future actions were proposed to be on those, and developing a cycle to go through based on empirical or mathematical data, chip sealing, overlays, things of that nature. So trying to help us out with a little bit more precise planning based on performance and condition of the roads.
It's actually a pilot plan, so we're the first county that he's gonna be working with, and hopefully, after we go through the whole process, it'll be available to everybody in the state.
okay.
So certainly we'll keep you apprised on how that comes along. So I think, Chris, you indicated that Keith was planning on coming out later this month
Yes.
to visit with you and kind of go through the whole process in more depth. I think it's a pretty cool deal. Excited about seeing what comes out of it. I think that wraps up for my county engineer's report. I'll open up for questions at this time before we move on to the next agenda item.
I don't have it.
Sorry.
And we'll come out,
Next item will be the Joe Road reclamation.
We hand out the bid tabulation. Notice the award. Copy this to you. So Ford County, last fall had opened bids to reclaim 5 miles of Jewel Road between 118 and 123, and awarded the bid to APAC Kansas for the reclamation of the pavement there, so we're gonna grind up the existing asphalt, mix it with the soil, then combine it with cement, and water, pack it down to stabilize that mixture, and then cap it with a hot mix overlay. As the county entered a new budget year, additional funds became available that would allow us to bid the next 3 miles of that project from 123 to 126 road, which would then basically complete the majority of the reclamation on that road that was previously planned. So this morning we did the bid opening, we did it all electronically. We only received 1 bid this time. I know one of the previous bidders had contacted me and said they just didn't know if it would fit into their schedule, so they were maybe just probably not bidding on it. And certainly with APAC already having 1 bid and already gonna be on the project, that probably makes it tougher for other companies coming to compete. But APAC did give a bid, well under the estimate that I've presented, and was pretty much right on par with what they had bid before. Probably the most substantial savings is if you see the mobilization on the first project. I think they bid over $100,000 on the first 5 miles, and the second 3 miles, it's only $36,000. Because they're already gonna be there with all their equipment and stuff, so their mobilization is pretty minimal. So APAC was the sole bidder. They turned in a bid of $1,160,205.33. The engineer's estimate was $1,474,700. And we would recommend the commissioners award the bid to APAC, and I handed out the notice of award there. If the commissioners so vote to award that bid, we go ahead and sign the notice of award, and we'll get a contract started. Then we can reclaim 8 miles of Jewel Road this summer.
I would make a motion to award the bid for the additional 3 miles of Jewel Road reclamation to APAC.
I second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
At this point, since we know that there's such a savings with mobilization, is there other areas that we should try and capitalize on, now that they're out here?
I probably have to talk with Christie how much money we actually have available.
Right.
The other component of that is, this is March 1st, now in April, there needs to be some material testing inspection done. I was planning to present a proposal for that as well, for Kirk and Michael to administer the contract basically, and then have Terracon do most of the field testing on the project.
Okay.
For density and checking the amount of cement that's being mixed in and things like that. That testing needs to be done to make sure that it's getting done properly. So there's some cost that's gonna be borne by the county for those services. The other thing I was just, in my mind, wonder, I know there's a hard time getting materials for specific asphalt in southwest Kansas. I don't know what the limit is and how much APAC, for instance, could take on. We can certainly conversate with them and ask them about that. If they're pretty much full up for the year, and would have much benefit to do something now, or like the 102 road, if we got the cost share money, and KDOT should announce those in May. I would like to try to get that bid out yet this fall, potentially, if the county has the money obligated, or right after the first of the year, we'd be carrying the funds over from leftover from this in 2022 as well, maybe mark it for 102 road project.
Okay.
So, this Jewel Road is gonna take quite a bit of a summer to accomplish.
It's a
already.
long project. Yeah, it's a long project, yeah.
It'll take them about a week per mile to reclaim the road. So we got 8 miles. They're gonna start sometime in May. It'll take at least a couple of months to get that done. So June, July, maybe in July, the reclaiming will be done, and then they can get it paved out in August. You definitely want to do the reclaiming work in the summer when it's hot with the cement. If you get too late in the year, it's not gonna cure as well. And certainly don't want it to be freezing, any risk of freezing at all. So I'd be a little bit hesitant to pile too much on also. So, good question. I maybe just take it easy a little bit right now. Let's get get one project under our belt and then move from there.
Well, and I know they'd be in the same county, but if we went to 102 road, that's still a fair move for them to remobilize their equipment over to there, or
It is, yeah,
one of those other projects.
across the county, certainly.
It's not like tacking it right onto the end of the project they got here right
Right.
now, so.
Right.
But true, certainly. And they're using the sub for the reclaiming as well. I don't know what their schedule might be looking like for later December. It's getting pretty late in the year to be busy, new work like that. It really needs to be done in the fall, preferably, or right after the first year. KDOT's been just a ton of work right now, so I know contractors are filling up pretty fast. So, We'll, I would recommend to go with one project for now. Let's get this one going and we can go from there.
Any further discussion, gentlemen? We have a motion on the table for awarding this bid to APAC. And I'll call vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Okay, get the notice of award signed, I will take that back with me and we'll get contract with them. So we can make a copy, Debbie, if you'd like to take a copy of it. Or email you a copy back with that marker. Okay. Anything else, Chris, was there? That concludes it for myself today.
Thank you.
The next item we have is a mobile device stipend.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Daniel, do you wanna talk about that?
Oh, okay. Do you remember how much it was? Good afternoon. I put in a request for a mobile device stipend for the event lead. She's gonna start taking over a lot of the scheduling, and she's dealing with the staff one-on-one and with the events one-on-one, so I put in the request for that stipend of $40.
Make a motion to approve the mobile device stipend for the event lead at the Expo Center.
I'll second that.
The motion second, any further discussion? Danielle, is this a new position, or is this a new person in an existing position?
It's an existing position, we've kind of tweaked it a little bit, and, but we have Letty, she was a part-time employee that applied, that we bumped up to full-time.
Okay.
And she's been in that for a couple months now, and going through the training process and trying to turn over more and more to her.
So my question, I guess, or the reason I ask is, it's not something that previously had a stipend for that particular position?
It,
Or
That's a
did
good question.
I believe so, but I can't remember.
Yeah, before, the position had a different title and a little bit different responsibilities. So we just wanted to be really transparent and clear, so
Okay.
that you guys were aware of it.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with doing this, I just,
It's not an additional position, getting a stipend.
what I wanna avoid, I guess, is, if we can, is trying to get them approved for individuals
Right.
and approving them for those positions, and then if somebody else moves into that position, it just stays
Oh.
with the position rather
Oh, I
than
see.
coming in here every time and asking for a new stipend for somebody, so.
Yes, typically, if you've already approved a position, then on that request, I just say position approved.
Yeah,
And
okay,
then we don't have to come to you.
that'll work.
So we'll just do that in the future then.
So we have a motion on the table, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks.
Next, we have Human Resources,
Oh, you're right.
Kansas Association of County Service Awards.
I don't think I'm talking though, if, I'll take pictures if the commission wants to announce the awards.
These folks are gonna be here. Got Richard Geyer here. Geyer has 44 years.
Incredible.
Congratulations, Richard. Christina Taylor. Christina has 32 years. Thank you for your service. Kelly Nichols, rural firefighter, has 32 years. Congratulations, thank you for your service. If you guys are here, if you happen to be here, we'll step up, but Norma Settlemeyer is our heavy equipment operator for 24 years. Heather Palmer, not here today, 24 years. Congratulations, thank you for your service. Michael Burns,
He actually retired the end of December, and we didn't think he'd come out of his cave, but he had put in the service.
congratulations on the retirement, and thank you for your service, Michael. 24 years service to the county. Brenda Pogue, saw her earlier. Is she here? Here she is. 24 years. Congratulations, thank you for your service. Patrick Klecker is here. Patrick has 24 years service. Director of the Community Corrections. Thank you, Patrick. Cameron Skeen, lieutenant at the jail. 16 years. Congratulations, thank you for your service. Danielle Crouch is here. Danielle's our manager down at the Expo Center, got 8 years. Congratulations.
Thank you. Been here 9, right?
Are you getting those pictures? You gotta be pretty quick.
Yeah. If the administrator, I had to leave the administrator, he was talking to me, get me distracted.
Commissioner Boyce. 8 years of service. Congratulations. Ian Deegis, rural firefighter. We have 8 years of service there. Congratulations, thank you for your service. Christian Meserly, firefighter, EMT, 8 years. Scott Messino, 8 years of service. Morris Jones, is that right, Morris? Yep, Morris Jones, patrol deputy, 8 years of service. Lauren Ashlock, fire EMT, 8 years of service. The fancy writing on this makes it sometimes I have to refer to the list where it's typed. Tegan Stein, 8 years of service. Allison Staub, is that right? Firefighter EMT, 8 years of service. Dwayne Eifert, maintenance tech.
Where is he? He's kind of shy.
Working.
Yeah.
8 years of service, thank you, Dwayne. Bryce Stein, you have 8 years of service here. Firefighter EMT. Brett Holling, firefighter, 8 years. Lee Bogner, equipment operator, 8 years. Martin Sanchez, maintenance, 8 years of service. Joshua Prather, 8 years of service, Road and Bridge. Shelley Correll, firefighter EMT, 8 years of service. And Aaron Bauer, Aaron here today? 8 years of service, administrative assistant for communications. There was a lot of them on 8 years. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you very much for your service to You want to take these, make sure they get them?
Yes.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you. Just as a point of information, KAC runs their years of service based on election cycles. So that's why you have 8 and 16 and 24 and 32. And so it's also a little bit wonky because they have a stopping point, so years of service as of January. So sometimes people are getting awards when they've actually been in place longer. So that's kind of how that's a little strange.
I wondered, this one, this month actually marks my 10th year, and this award says 8. That's, so I was wondering the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, congratulations and thanks to all those folks.
Next item, we have our upcoming meetings. The 104th Annual Dodge City Area Chamber of Commerce Meeting and Banquet will be held Saturday, March 6th at Boot Hill Casino and Resort Conference Center. We are sponsoring a table at this event, and the Expo has taken the lead on that.
It's awesome.
Right
It's
on.
awesome.
We haven't ever sponsored a table at the banquet since I've been here. And so we had like a really late notice last week, an invitation to sponsor a table. And Danielle and her staff has to take charge of it. So if you're going to the banquet, even though we are sponsoring that table, we do not sit at that table.
You're gonna want to.
It's not for the sponsoring agency to sit at the table. The goal is to get other people to sit at the table, and there'll be goodies there for people to take home.
All right.
The 2021 NACO Virtual Legislative Conference, March 8th through the 26th. 3i Show, March 18th through the 20th at Western State Bank Expo Center. That is all the upcoming events.
Quick clarification on that NACO conference, I believe, Amy has Commissioner Tassett registered, I'm registered, Sean Fletcher, correct?
I'm waiting to register until I
Okay.
get,
So, if Commissioner Snook, Commissioner Boyce, if you wanna register for that conference, just let us know and get you registered. It's all Zoom, so we can set you up. It's much easier for us to go through the process. It'd be harder now if we're Zooming. I don't know how we'd have to talk to Glenn, how we get around that open public meetings thing, but we could be able to set you up at your home or with your own phone or iPad for Zooming for those conferences. Some of them are really helpful, some of those breakout sessions are really helpful, so.
The other thing is that I think we've hit enough of us that are registering now that we qualify for the group deal, so it doesn't cost any more for the others to come on if you want to, so. And we'll be encouraging them to, let's be getting back to normal here soon. These Zoom meetings and Skype meetings, or whatever you wanna call them, are not working well, that I can tell.
I got a chance to visit my son yesterday at WSU, and he has one class during the week in person, and he knows nobody at that college except for his roommates. He has 3 roommates, And he's just like, nobody's talking to anybody, nobody's in the halls,
What's her
everybody's
name?
masked up.
Some girl's name.
I'm a dad nudging like, hey, just go talk. You know, but it's so interesting that he's like, nobody sticks around on a Zoom call to get to know each other. It's just they shut it off and start their own work because they're doing it in their dorm room. So it's just an interesting environment right now. So, anyway.
Okay. So I think after that, we have an executive session on the agenda here. I would move that the board recess into executive session to discuss information technology matters for the government center and the sheriff's office pursuant to matters relating to the security measures exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319 B12. The open meeting to resume in this location at, it started at 4:20, we'll resume here at 4:40. To be included in the meeting, in addition to the commissioners, the county administrator, assistant county administrator, IT director, and county counselor should be included in the executive session. And I suppose we probably need the sheriff as well, is that correct? He's got his office on here, so we'll include the sheriff's office as well. That is the motion.
Second.
The motion is seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4:40. All right, so we are back from our executive session. We'll reconvene the meeting. And the last item here on the agenda was the executive session. And out of that executive session, I would make a motion to approve the bid to upgrade the security measures as recommended by our Information Technology Director, Marty Bremer. Contract in the not to exceed amount, $400,000.
I'll second it.
With a motion and second, any further discussion?
Always wanted to spend $1 million. That's the way it goes. I have no questions.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now I would make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.